Tonight, a local Hispanic community is fighting for its voice to be heard, Nikki.
Yeah, Chris, they say their deep concerns not being addressed by the Diocese of Youngstown, and they are raising their voice in protest. Stephen Hernandez has the story you'll see only on 19 News.
After decades of being a part of the community here in Youngstown, the Catholic Hispanic community says enough discrimination is enough.
I know that's a tough word. Nobody wants to hear discrimination. Nobody wants to hear racism, but we can speak from the heart. We have experienced it for many years, and we are denouncing that.
Felipe Gonzalez is heartbroken. He worships with members of the Santa Rosa de Lima faith community. For the past 13 years, church services were held at the St. Lucy Church in Campbell. Now, the diocese has chosen to move them to St. Dominic Church in Youngstown. Gonzalez says this is fixing something that was never broken.
We do have our home, but the pastor from the other church there to write a letter to his congregation, telling his congregation that we were adrift and we also didn't have a home. That's truly false. That's false, and I don't know why he would go as to saying that. That's very offensive to us.
But the concerns of this community run deeper than just the building where these services take place. They're also fighting for what they believe is their right to their language, and are outraged by a parish-wide policy prohibiting Catholic classes in Spanish. Mary Gonzalez, who used to be a pastoral minister for Santa Rosa de Lima, says reaching out to people in Spanish is a necessity.
We have a right to do our faith in our language. We have so many Hispanics coming into the area, and we want to minister to them, and we feel that this is being taken away from us.
To understand the diocese's decisions, we spoke to Father John Jarek, administrator of the very same Christ the Good Shepherd parish. He doesn't like the word discrimination either.
It is certainly not a situation of discrimination. We're doing the very best we can to provide Hispanic ministry for the Hispanic families of Mahoning County. I think that the problem is they're used to getting their way, and now they're being asked to make a sacrifice.
Is speaking Spanish amongst each other considered having it their own way?
No, there's absolutely no problem with that.
But the allegations don't end there. According to documents received by 19 News, in a separate incident, the diocese allegedly told a group of newly arrived religious students from Puerto Rico that they were forbidden from speaking to each other in Spanish.
We have a lot of families that have come from Puerto Rico that don't speak English. We want to be able to teach them, not have someone else teach them, but every time we try, we're told no.
For his part, Father Jarek claims the incident was a misunderstanding. He says it's because the students were participating in a bilingual class with other English-speaking students.
And they turned it around, as they have so often done, and misrepresented it to claim that they were being discriminated against.
The father insists that only a few Hispanics were participating in the class in the first place.
If a student needs a class in Spanish, we are certainly willing to get a bilingual catechist.
Wouldn't you believe that people aren't coming just because there are no Spanish classes for them to go to?
I don't know. We have quite a few kids who are Hispanic in our religious education program. And if they need to be taught in Spanish, they need to let us know.
That doesn't sit well with Felipe Gonzalez. He says it speaks to his concern that the needs of Hispanics are simply being ignored.
Not once were we invited to dialogue with the people that were making these decisions.
Meanwhile, back to Santa Rosa de Lima, it's the end of an era. Church members finished their final Spanish Mass at their own community yesterday. A huge sense of loss. But they still hope that this protest can be the start of change that gives them a bigger voice in how they worship.
We want to be part of the decision making. We don't want decisions made for us. We feel that we're quite capable of making our own decisions.
In Youngstown, Stephen Hernandez, 19 News.